Are you still missing those big boom and crash spikes? Most traders don't know this simple ADX trick that shows you exactly when spikes are about to happen. If you have been struggling to catch spikes consistently, stick around because this method can change the way you trade. Let's get
Okay, we're going to
started.
be talking about how to catch multiple spikes using the ADX indicator. Okay, and we are not just going to rely on our indicators, we're also going to use our trend line for price action confirmation. So we're going to catch spike on the 1 minute time frame, but before we do that, we have to what? Identify our trend. Okay, that's the very first thing you do whenever you open your chart is identify the trend. Is it bullish or is it bearish? Okay, that is the first thing for you to do, for you to know if you are going to be selling or you are going to be buying. Okay, so since we are going to be focusing on spike catching, what we want to do is to check if the trend is bullish. Okay, if it is trending up. Okay, so right now looking at my chart, the trend is bullish. Can you see that it's currently trending up? So this is the 4 hours time frame. We have identified our trend that is currently bullish. So you can also check that using your 1 hour time frame. Now, after checking the trend, identifying the trend to be bullish, what you want to do is to what? To draw your trend line. The 1 hour time frame, you draw your trend line. Okay. Now move down to the 30 minutes time frame. Okay, now on the 30 minutes time frame, you can also draw a mini trend line. Okay, a mini trend line. Now remember that we are just using a past price reaction by using past price reaction, but this is exactly what you do whenever you get to your chart. So on your 30 minutes time frame, you just draw another mini trend line. Okay, so you go step down to your 30 minutes time frame and draw a mini trend line. Okay, can you see that? Now let's look at the touches. Okay, now looking at the major trend line we drew, you can see that at that touch, okay, there was what? A bullish trend. Okay, can you see that? And let's check out another touch. Now this is the second touch over here. Okay, so you can see that at that touch also there is what? A bullish trend. So this trend line is a guide for you. Now let's look at our mini trend line, okay, that we drew on the 30 minutes time frame. At the touch of the trend line, okay, there is what? A bullish reversal. Now note that sometimes you might not actually get a perfect touch, but you will notice a pullback towards the trend line, and then you will notice continuation of the trend. Now this helps us towards to identify the positions at which we have to get our entry. So to get our entry, we have to move down to the 1 minute time frame, okay, because that is where we are going to be using our indicator. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our indicators. Now on the main chart, I currently have the moving average, and I'm going to show you the setting. So let's head over to our indicator window to check out the settings of our indicators. So these are the indicators that we have in our indicator windows. So on the main chart, we have the moving average, and on indicator window 1 we have our moving average also, and we have the average directional movement index, and this is the major indicator we are using today, okay, for spike catching. So let's check out the settings of our indicator. Okay, the moving average on the main chart, so let's check it. So on the main chart we have the moving average period 8, shift 0, method exponential, and then you have apply to median price. Okay, take note of that. And then you have your color, you click on save. Then we head over to the second moving average on the indicator window, this right over here. So you're going to add it up to indicator window 1, and the setting is period 10, shift 0, method exponential, and apply to median price. Then you have your style as blue. You can actually choose any color of your choice, and then you click on save. And then the main indicator of today, let's check out the setting. So this is your average directional movement. Okay, so you have periods 100. Take note, okay, take note and make sure you screenshot it. There's nothing much to set over here. So we have period 100. Okay, take note. On the style, ensure that you change this color to your background color. Okay, change the style color to your background color. We don't want it to be showing. We only want these two lines, the plus di and minus di. That's the one we want to be showing. So just these two colors. Okay, these are the colors we want to be showing. We don't want the style color to be showing. So after doing that, you click on save. Then let's head over back to our main chart to know how to use our indicators properly.
If you are serious about improving your trading skills, I've got something special for you. I would love to invite you to join my free Telegram community where I share exclusive educational articles, practical tips, proven insights that will help you trade more profitably and avoid the common mistakes most traders make. It's not just another group, it's a space to learn, connect with like-minded traders, and get real value that you can apply immediately to your trading. So go ahead and click the link in the description of this video to join us today.
So I'm just going to pull up my indicator window. Okay, so here on our indicator window, you can see that we have our average directional movement, and this is it. This is the average directional movement, these two lines, okay, the yellow and the green. Can you see that? And the blue line you have is your moving average that we added, and on your main chart we have the moving average also. So let's look at how to use this indicator effectively. Now remember, we have our trend line to identify our trend, our bullish trend, and we also have the mini trend line to also get a quick entry. Now look at this place. Now you can see that there is a touch on our trend line. Can you see that? So looking at our chart, we can see that there was a touch on our trend line. Can you see that over here? Can you see that? And what happened next? And then there was spikes. Okay, now how do you confirm your entries at this point? Firstly, the touch on the trend line. Then secondly, check your indicator window. Okay, the moving average touches the lower band of your ADS. Can you see that? Whenever you get a touch at the lower band of your ADS, expect spikes. Okay, you're going to expect spikes, and that is exactly what happened here. Now let's check out other conditions. Okay, so right here again we see that there is a touch. Okay, there's a touch on the lower band of the ADS, and what you expect to get is spikes. Okay, multiple spikes. Now let me tell you when the right time for you to get into the trade. Firstly, you have to wait for the touch. You wait for the touch of the moving average on the lower band, the green line of the ADS. Then allow the first spike to occur. Okay, allow this first spike to occur. Once that first spike occurs, the moving average on this chart that was initially here will turn to this other side, and that tells you that spike is going to come more. So you can wait for a little pullback, okay, and then you open up your trade and you catch these other spikes. Okay, once you get 2 to 3 spikes, you should be out, and you have to be watching the moving average over here. If it has reached the yellow line, if it has touched the yellow line, you have to exit. Okay, you have to exit because price will start pulling back. So let's check out other conditions that was met. Okay, so right here we have another condition that was met, okay, with our indicators. The first is the moving average touching the lower band of the green band of the ADS, and then you wait for the first spike to occur, and the moving average goes over to the other side. You open up a trade and you catch many more spikes. So this is exactly how to use this indicator to catch multiple spikes. Now note that the trend line is there to guide you on the trend. Okay, you don't have to wait for every touch of the trend line, but if you are patient enough to wait for it to get a touch, that is the best entry point that can give you massive profit. Okay, but note that each time the moving average touches the green band of the ADS, spikes is expected to occur, and you should exit the trade before it hits the yellow line. So this is basically how to use this strategy to catch spikes, and that is what we are focusing on today. But you can also use this strategy to scalp the little candles. In fact, I prefer scalping the little candles than waiting for spikes. So I won't fail to tell you how to use this strategy for it. Now look at this position over here. Okay, so every time that the moving average anchors the average directional movement, okay, the upper part of the average directional movement. When I mean anchor, like something like, you know how chains are You know how chains are fixed. You can see it over there, that you should have this shape occurring. Can you see that? Like it goes through the average directional movement and then comes back down. Can you see that? So every time you have this formation, okay, of the moving average going through the average directional movement and then comes back down, leaving this shape you have over here, this shape that looks like your elbow shape when you bend your elbow, okay, leaving that shape. So anytime you have that formation, is a good time for you to what, get a sharp entry. It's a good time for you to get sniper entries, and you're going to enter and scalp all those little candles. Okay, can you see that? You can scalp all these little candles all the way down to when the moving average touches the green part of the average directional movement. And that is what we have over here. Can you see this? Okay, having this formation of your elbow, and when you look at your main chart, you see your moving average has crossed over from here to the other side, and then you open up your trade and you scalp many more candlesticks. But when you are doing that, for you to scalp these little candlesticks, you are not going to be checking if the trend is bullish this time around. You're going to be checking if the trend is what, bearish. You have to be doing this on a bearish trend, and ensure that when you are scalping little candlesticks, use boom 1000 or crash 1000. So this is exactly how to use the strategy, either to catch spikes or to scalp little candlesticks. You can see that over here. Again, we have our anchor. Okay, we have our anchor, the moving average anchoring the ADX, and then what do we have on our main chart? We have the moving average crossing over to the other side of the price, and then you scalp many more candlesticks. So this is the best strategy you can use to either catch spikes. Okay, you can see both methods being met here. You can see that the moving average touched the lower band of the ADX, other conditions met here, and then you have what, your spike, and the other one happen here, and then you have what. So this is the best two-way strategy you can either use to catch spikes or scalp the little candles, and you are going to be so profitable in the market. Now that you know how to use the ADX, either catch spikes or scalp the little candlesticks, I want you to go to your chart and backtest this method and ensure you test it to get positive results before using it to trade live on your chart. Okay, now if you got value from those videos, I want you to turn on the notification bell, hit the like button, and subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified when we post many more great profitable strategies. Thanks for watching. Bye.